We all know that China is in a booming economy decade. However, under the bright appearance, it is imbalance in development, seriously unbalanced. Compared to the flourishing of the great cities like Beijing and Shanghai, countrysides are crippled and utterly poor. The urbanization has made our thousands of years agricultural civilization changed revolutionarily. Nowadays, the great cities offer majority of positions and opportunities, yet agricultural technology is extremely backward in the countryside. Of course, the young and the middle-aged moved into the city due to the huge difference of income and resource. According to statistics, there are about 1.3 billion rural laborers breathing in the cities. Because of the poor income, these farmers can't afford raising their children in the city. Instead, children are left in the countryside growing up with their grandparents. There are 58 million left behind children in China's villages. They are in lack of normal living resources, education opportunities, and can barely see their parents in whole year. At the same time, the old are facing the same problem. In 2050, there will be 79 million of the old to die without their children accompanied. It seems like the reason of this phenomenon is due to the gap between urban and rural economy. However, the fundamental factor is the gap between urban and rural life quality. Generally, most of China's villages have already had a history of hundreds of years. Lack of update and maintain, the ancient houses are dilapidated. Meanwhile, the modern life is also contrary to the construction factor of the ancient countryside. The space cannot support the current life now. The outdated environment cannot attract enough attention and innovation. Instead, they are facing escape and abandonment. With the simple farming from the old and children, villages will inevitably move towards death. Facing the reality, the government is concerned about the performance rather than to solve the problem. Many unreasonable solutions were designed, which even caused huge damage to the existing villages. Today, I hope that through research and design, we could put forward a feasible plan, but renew the rural structure to achieve the protection of some countryside with a specific culture. The economy, obviously, is the number one priority for development of countries, especially in villages with a cultural background. The transformation of traditional agriculture to tourism is very meaningful. In architectural ways, to relinquish, renovate, and rebuild the vacant rooms, and then transform it into the way that tourism can be used, could help the establishment of tourism industry. Thus, there is a need to change the composition of the village in order to meet the needs of modern life. The lack of public space or landscape space is the abuse of a patriarchal village. Increasing public space in the village not only provides a landscape node for the tourism, but also improve the rural life quality. At the same time, the library and school for children, the senior center for the old, are needed to be built in these ancient villages. As a result, the development of tourism industry, the increase of resources, and the improvement of living conditions will attract the young to work back in their hometowns. I started to pay attention to the development of China's historical architectural preservation when I was in college, and I have participated in about 10 renovation projects until now. In recent years, there are different attempts designed to discuss the possibilities, but most of them are lack of understanding of rural life. Years before, I saw 4 sets of ancient houses besides the Great Wall renovated to modern hotels. These were designed by an American architect. Those 4 keep the spirit of the Chinese tradition, but are given modern elements. Very impressive. This is one of the reasons why I came to the United States to study. There was an old saying in China called 师夷长技以自强. It means solving our Eastern problems by learning Western skills. In the thesis year, I'm proposing a small village renovation design in planning, landscape, and architecture skills, try to solve some real rural problems. I'm also looking forward to see all of you to give me inspiration in the design process.